Hello everyone. Today our group, which consists of Ashley Nash, Madison Sapir, and Nicole Perley, and myself, Karen Perley, we gather today and welcome and appreciate our elder Edward Perley. He's also known as DTS, which is his given spirit name, which means bluebird in Willistic way. Ed resides in our community of Negutha. We'll each take turns interviewing and asking Ed questions which pertains to our topic, which is wampum schism. Ed played a crucial role in helping the initiative come to fruition in our Native communities and continues to play a vital role as one of the lead coordinators who often mobilizes the wampum schism team during critical incidents and traumatic events in our Native communities. And they offer support provincially, nationally, and internationally. Right now, I will turn to Ed and let him introduce himself. And Willie and Ed, you can take it.
Yeah, well, Leland, Karen, Ashley, Nicole, and Ned. Now, there was DTS, the week you've never spoken about whether that's listed it. We guys them this call. And you get back into the So, just want to say my name is Edward Perley, and my spirit name is DTS, which represents the Blue Jay. And I tell people, now you know my name when you're out there in the world. You see the Blue Jay, that's me coming, and I always tell them, don't feed them because you can't get rid of them. It's an honor to be asked to help answer some questions around wampum schism. Trying to help, I guess, people not so much understand, but I guess appreciate what wampum schism is and what we do is a crisis team.
So my question is, what is wampum schism?
Wampum schism represents critical incident stress management, and the wampum represents the ceremonial and the cultural piece of the wampum schism.
Where did wampum schism originate from?
Wampum schism originated, actually, the CISM is for first responders. And during the 2008 year, at the time, Wayne Nicholas, God rest his soul, and Sandy Sarah and Roxanne Sapir got together and through Wayne's healing through the Indian residential school, they were using the process. And at the end of their healing journey, Wayne thought that this critical stress management would be added to wampum or the ceremonial cultural piece to the program, that it would help enhance the CISM. So between Sandy and Wayne and Roxanne got together and started meeting and putting together this program, and basically started around 2008, 2009.
So did they have this kind of stuff when you were younger, like the sacred fires and ceremonies and traditions?
When I was growing up, my understanding was that our ceremonies and traditions were outlawed back in the late 1800s into the early 1900s. The government of Canada made it impossible for indigenous people to practice their ceremonies. It wasn't until up till the late 60s and into the early 70s where two sisters, Marjorie Perley and Monica Perley, went away from the church and started bringing back culture and ceremonies into our community. And probably from then on up till now, people started getting involved more, but it wasn't really till they passed what they called the Freedom of Religion in 1976, where it allowed indigenous people and other cultures to practice their beliefs. And so even though our ceremonies and our culture ain't a religion, it's more based on spiritual spirituality. So it wasn't until probably, like I said, around late 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000 now that we're practicing our own ceremonies. And it's the ceremonies that are helping us to deal with the mental health piece of our difficulties in our lives. And that's why the fire, these elements are so important. The fire, the water, the air, and the earth. And we've always had the best pharmacies. I tell people that we've always had, and we still have them today, it's called nature. And we've always had the best hospitals, and we still have them today. They're called foot lodge ceremonies and medicine. That's what helps our people deal with the mental wellness side of things, or the mental health side of things. So that's why it's important for us to go back to our ceremonies.
Do you think that people are starting to embrace their culture and ask for ceremonies more now?
I believe that our people are starting to experience and knowing that our ceremonies help with these difficulties that we have within our communities, and there's more families asking for sacred fires, or if there's people that are needing help, we use other ceremonies, sweat lodge ceremonies, pipe ceremonies, fires, drumming, singing, stories. These all contribute to the mental health of our people, and that's why it's so important, again, for our people to try to learn and utilize our ceremonies and nature to help them deal with the difficulties that they face in their lives today.
Why is wampum schism important for communities?
Why is wampum schism for communities important? Well, it's important that they know that they have support. You know, a lot of times when something happens within our communities, people feel alone and non-supported. So that way, once wampum schism is there, they come in to support, and so that the family doesn't have to feel alone, or the community doesn't have to feel alone during the initial crisis, tragedy, or death.
What do you think makes an effective crisis counselor? What do you think helps people open up to you?
Well, I like to try to explain it this way. The fire is the greatest mental health worker that we have, and the fire is the elder. I'm just the helper. And just by being present, not actually having to have to speak, just when people come by and want to share their thoughts and their feelings and their experience within the crisis or the tragedy or death, and we're just basically there to support, listen. And for me, that's what makes a good counselor, is being able to listen.
Ed, seeing as how you deal with traumatic critical incidents and events within our Native communities, what do you do for yourself to distress?
Myself personally, I have a lot of support, so I reach out to my support. I also have ceremonies to help me de-stress myself, and I usually, with the fire keepers, we get together and usually talk about, how we're feeling and what we're thinking. And other times we'll have a debriefing where there's a person that's choosing to be able to debrief us, and it's almost like in a talking circle setting. And myself, I like to listen to music and watch movies and hang out with my family, and help discuss myself. That's what I do.
What kind of circumstances is wampum schism required in communities?
Usually what will happen, there'll be either a crisis, a tragedy, or a death. Then communities will reach out and ask for assistance from the coordinators. There's two coordinators for wampum season. One is for the mental wellness side, and the second one is for cultural and ceremonial. So when an incident occurs, the community will reach out, and these coordinators will then proceed to wherever the crisis is happening in the community.
So what is your role in the communities when you go?
My role usually is to go and evaluate and to assess along with the community to decide how much support we will need for the crisis or during the crisis. And I also am responsible for ceremonial and cultural, so I'll make sure that we light the fire and reach out for firekeepers to come in and assist within the community.
What is the significance of the fire?
The fire is a very vital, important piece of the wampum season. All we do is usually we'll light the fire. It seems like everything else after that will fall into place. The fire will help diffuse, de-escalate, stabilize. It will help comfort people when they come to the fire.
How can someone get involved or become trained to be a part of the Wampum Sism team?
Well, wampum season really ain't for everybody. Since 2008 and up till 2021, we have over 200 members trained in wampum season. Usually when there's a crisis, there might be a handful of people that actually come and help. But if it's somebody that's really interested in helping people, like right now, since we have 200 adults trained in wampum season, what we're trying to do now, we put together a youth program. We call it Basic Crisis Management Team. There's about 13 youth that we've been working with in the last past year. We had three modules completed out of 4. But if anybody's, and we're always recruiting, you know, if there's anybody that thinks that or believes that there's something they can contribute to helping be part of the team, and it's not always have to be firekeeping or ceremony or counseling. It's just sometimes supporting the team or family in other ways, maybe help cooking, or, you know, whatever needs to be done during the time of the need there. So if there's anybody that's interested, maybe try to get a hold of Roxanne Sapir at 273-1762 or Ed Perley at 273-0091. And if you are interested, there's a process and a protocol that each individual needs to have. One is the clearance, a security clearance. Also sign a confidentiality form, because everything that we do is confidential and it's very professional. So again, I want to thank Karen and Ashley, Nicole, and Maddie for asking me to do this interview with them today. And I hope that information that I provided will be able to help other communities, other people that don't really understand what wampum season is. So, Leland.
Maliwan.
Leland.
Really?